Okay, you got to give us a moment. I've been waiting for this moment the whole day.
Hi, welcome to the Mariah Report.
Breaking news.
I know. First of all, I'm Dan Enriquez. You're Martin Burgess.
Yes, I am.
We're the Lambologists.
Yes.
And we are breaking...
We're not breaking the news.
We're not breaking the news, but today...
Big news.
Big news. So you're getting this episode a little bit earlier than usual.
Okay, so the news is Mariah is on the cover of People magazine. The headline saying, "My battle with bipolar disorder." Mariah Carey opens up. For the first time, the superstar singer-songwriter... Oh, they got the songwriter in.
Ooh, yes.
Thank you. Reveals her struggles with mental health, why she kept it hidden for years, and how she's healing.
Lambs, I'm gagging to talk about this.
I know, right?
So we're going to totally talk about it. We also have we got in touch with a
Clinical psychologist
and music therapist.
And Lamb.
Yeah, now how?
Yes.
That's hard to find.
We pulled it together.
We got him.
Yeah.
We got him.
Yeah.
So we had
to go to the Dominican Republic to find him, but we found him.
And he's going to sort of like help us navigate through what exactly bipolar disorder is. Mm-hmm. He's going to give us references and all of this about what Mariah's going through for those of you who could be like, oh, bipolar.
What is that?
What is it? What does that mean? Like, because like essentially I think, you hear that instantly, you automatically think crazy.
Right.
But that's not it. And it's so different.
Yeah. And, one of the main messages that she's saying is, she wants to help break the stigma because you can't see it, because your arm isn't chopped off or you've had cancer or your hair isn't falling out. Mm-hmm. You're not really sick. You're just kind of cuckoo. Mm-hmm. But that's not the case.
And Mariah's been dealing with it forever. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about all that drama behind it. We're going to talk about the People magazine. Yeah. We're also going to talk about a little later the
Hostel World ad.
Yeah. The app that she is Yeah, but this is the forefront news. We got to talk about it.
Okay, so
we're just going to get right into it, girl.
Let's get
into it.
So this morning, my phone is dinging at 7 a.m. Mm-hmm. I wake up at like 8:30ish. So ding, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? Look at my phone, and it's Lambs from around the world.
Around the world.
So I'm like, she's dead.
Because we're global.
Yes, but I'm like, she's dead. She's dead. I'm not even going to read that. I can't deal with this right now.
I can't. It's too much.
Why else would there be a global random lamb
attack?
Yes,
on your text messages
at 7 a.m. Anyway, so I was like, okay, don't panic. Let me read it. It's the first thing I see is the cover of People magazine. I'm bipolar. I was like, oh, phew. Thank God.
Oh, thank God.
That's what we do.
Oh, thank God. Bipolar? Great.
Yes.
Whew.
She's alive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
especially after coming out of the past 2 years of what she's been going through. We're like, oh, yes. Oh, thank God. Mm-hmm. Thank God. And it's also, don't get me getting emotional, but this is the most vulnerable we've seen Mariah in a long time, and this is the Mariah that everyone loves. Because she's human again.
Exactly.
She's not the over-the-top diva.
Yes.
She's not all of that. She's not, wind-blown hair. Mm-hmm. She's a real human.
Exactly.
And she's telling us, she's letting us in.
Yeah.
She's letting us into what she's been going through for years.
Right, because I think she lost her larger audience and fan base because she was being secretive and strange and nobody knew why. So it was like, well, what's wrong with her? She's just being wacky. Well, and we couldn't connect. People couldn't connect to that.
Right, the general public.
Yeah, because she said yes.
Like, we get it. Like, we understand. Like, we like the kookiness. Yeah. We like, the TRL lollipop moments.
Yes.
We like all of those things. But then when you, take a moment and you really look into it, you're like, okay, something's going on here.
Yeah.
And now here she is. She's laying it all out for us. So Martin and I, we actually have the People magazine, actual magazine in our hands because it's already on the stands. And, because the news reports are all saying, oh, this, and the other. But when you read the actual magazine,
there's more.
Yep. And she really lays it out for us.
Yeah.
She tells us everything.
Well, she's not doing those interviews she was doing the last few years where she just deflects and one-word answers and doesn't say much.
Right.
She's actually
this
talking.
also, like, as lambs, looking back on the past 2 years, you can see exactly why she was surrounded by the wrong people.
That, and when I read it, I was like, everything makes sense now.
Wasn't it like, when you read this, wasn't it like a...
Relief.
Like off your shoulders, like,
yes.
a deep sigh of relief. Like, yes girl. Yes.
Yeah, because we
know
knew
what I
something.
mean?
Yeah, we knew something was wrong. We couldn't tell what. Is she on drugs? Is she drinking too much? What the hell's going on? Now we have exact language to apply to that.
Exactly. And then, like, even going back to Mia and Mariah days, is she overly medicated for pain meds because of the shoulder? Is she super depressed because of the divorce?
Yeah.
Like, what is all of it? And I'm sure all of that had to play into the last couple of years with her.
All piled up. Yeah.
All of it. All of it. But you know what? Props to this bitch right here. This bitch is strong. This bitch been through it, and she ain't playing. I love Mariah. I love this bitch.
I know. Me too.
I cannot with her.
It feels good to just like let it, like the love flow through now.
It is just so, I want to give her, like, I sort of like, I want to cry just because, like, oh my God, poor Mariah. But like, bitch, ain't no poor Mariah here.
Yeah.
This bitch is a survivor. This bitch is going through it and still succeeding.
Yeah.
Oh, she's on top of it.
And I think it'll be...
you know what? If she never even gets another number one, this bitch is on top of the fucking game of life.
But I feel good that she's confessing to it, and it's not a secret that's just going to get worse and worse and worse within inside herself.
Exactly. Well, I think that's why it finally is coming out. We're going to get into what exactly she said in the interview in a minute, and she even says, right here on the cover, she says, I lived in denial and isolation.
Yeah. Numb to the madness.
Yeah. Don't get me started.
But see how even though she can tell us, it's funny how one can go numb to the madness and block it away. There's still things that pop up in life, and it happens. It continues.
Yeah.
The cycle continues. Even though she knows that, things can pop up.
And it's the whole thing. And also, when we talked to our lamb friend, he was saying, like, what exactly is bipolar 1, bipolar 2, and what that means, and how you can sort of, like, still go and be so successful through it.
Yeah.
That was very insightful as well.
Yeah,
you'll listen to that in a little bit, lambs. But let's get into the magazine.
Okay.
First of all, gorgeous cover.
New photos.
Thank God she's not using that E = MC squared photo.
Can you imagine?
Could you? I wouldn't be surprised.
She's giving me reminiscence of pre-Charm Bracelet. Like, the tank top is back on. We might as well be wearing jeans.
Very rainbow.
Yes.
Like,
we're not
almost.
We're not in a gown.
Yeah.
Very rainbow, like, yes.
Very girl next door.
Yeah.
Very relatable.
Yes. Human being.
People will see this. They'll see her beauty, and then they'll be like, oh, my battle with bipolar. Oh, my gosh. I can't believe Mariah, someone who is a big, well-known, legend, she's going through this?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe.
Because she's supposed to be perfect.
Right. Right, because that's what everyone expects from her.
Yeah.
And I know that, like, us lambs, like, we pick and things of that nature, but, like, we know Mariah's still a human, and we know that, she does all that she can.
Yeah.
So the pictures are gorgeous. I mean, gorgeous. Okay, so what does the thing say?
Okay, so the headline is, it's finally time to share my story.
Yes, girl, yes.
So interesting. Like, she must have hit that point where she's like, I'm in too deep.
Well, I think with the whole former situation, she was in too deep.
Too many people know about this. Allison is out on the scene again, talking to the magazines, talking to the websites.
Now, can we... we're going to get into the magazine, but let's start with family history. And we talk a little bit about this with our lamb friend, the clinical psychologist, because Morgan, her brother, years ago, had said that Mariah is bipolar.
Yeah, he said it.
And he said it runs in the family.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't not believe him.
Yeah, I didn't think he was lying.
But I wasn't taking it I wasn't taking it all in. I was like, okay, could be.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But...
Well, because we didn't see Mariah have a Britney Spears moment, shave her head, attack the paparazzi with an umbrella.
Exactly. So we have no receipts.
Right. Exactly.
You know, yeah, you can call TRL when she like quote quote flashed everyone. That was something else, I feel.
Yeah.
That wasn't
That was
a direct thing from the bipolar. Like
Right,
that was
right,
like
right.
physical exhaustion and things of that.
because we never saw that again.
Exactly. So we know that there's a little bit of a family history. We know that Allison, her older sister, is talking again because Allison allegedly is drug-free. She is in rehab. She's been through a lot and things of that nature. And we also know that Mariah's older brother, that they have separated ways. For whatever reason.
But now that maybe makes sense because maybe Morgan was trying to push her in the right direction. Mariah was resisting
into
that.
being, okay, you know, medication,
Yes.
therapy, all of these things.
Because Mariah was in denial, didn't want to listen to and hear him.
Yep.
So isolated herself from him.
Yeah. Yeah.
That could explain all of that.
There's so many forms of isolation. It's
Yes.
isolation because, I have to keep this a secret. Or isolation like, I don't want people to see me at my worst.
Yes.
Isolation of there's so many things of like, keep myself away from people so like they don't think I'm crazy, that I need help. This is big. Mental health is big.
Yeah, I'm actually like, just before we brought Moments back, I had just gone through this in my family. My father-in-law committed suicide a few weeks ago. Mental health wasn't diagnosed and wasn't treated properly.
And those are the things that can happen.
Yeah.
And it is so important for people to be open about it.
Yeah. Them
to understand.
personally realize something's wrong.
Within step number one, admitting it to yourself.
Yes.
You know, because who knows, like, you know, you could be on the outside and you'd be like, that bitch is crazy. But until they take ownership of it,
right,
and are aware of things, that's the whole thing. Like, be aware of what is going on within yourself, within your thoughts,
and educate yourself because you know, you can realize, okay, I've been diagnosed with this problem. What's the next step? I need medication. The medication can take a year to level out.
100%. Yeah. And it's not just like, popping some pills for a year. It's almost like you would need a combination therapy, like therapy, pills, and like structure of life, life structure, which I think sort of got Mariah through her early 20s.
Yeah.
Like in the 90s, Tommy Mottola, say all you will horribly about him, and he wasn't the best person to be in her life, but he kept her very structured.
And busy.
Yeah. So she didn't maybe have all of these signs and symptoms that normally one would have because she was working. She was structured.
Yeah.
And then, like,
and told what to say,
and
to
look
not look
what
crazy.
happens as soon as all of that structure goes away.
Right.
The glitter breakdown.
Yeah.
And then you have to blame it on exhaustion and all of these things. But that's what she says. She was diagnosed in 2001. Dare we say that was that the first time Mariah had ever been in therapy? Do you think that was the first time she ever seen
a therapist,
like a certified person? Could be.
Yeah, maybe.
Could be. You never know.
Maybe.
You never know, girl.
Yeah.
You never know. Because people who come from the type of lifestyle that Mariah grew up in, and she even mentions it in the article, getting out of that, like, those are not the type of people that go see a therapist because they're feeling down.
Right.
Or, you know what I mean? So, like, to her, she's probably in the majority of what people think. Oh, seeing a therapist? Oh,
I'm not crazy like that.
I'm not crazy like that.
Yeah,
But, like, seeing a therapist does not mean you're crazy.
No. I had a therapist for years when I lived in Australia.
Yeah, honey, can I get one?
Oh, it's amazing.
Not here in America.
Yeah, I know, right? But because the people around my parents, especially my mother right now, she's dealing with mental health problems, and my father's and my father's living in denial about it all.
Oh, of course.
Like Mariah's saying,
of course,
you got to stop living in denial. I thought I was the crazy one. I was like, there's something wrong with me. So this is when I was like 20, 21-ish, up until I was like 28-ish. I thought I was the one with the problem. So went to the therapist. He's like, no, you're actually kind of sane coming out of that mess your parents are in. What was your point? Therapy.
therapy and getting into it and
Yes.
like okay, so like but what I want to say like it like in the article, which you have to go out and get the magazine obviously if you're a lamb, but in the article she says so much more than what we're seeing on like the news clips and all of this. And she says people who escape the life I grew up with don't want to go backwards. So she thinks like, oh, I got out of the mess and like, but you have to go back and deal with the mess and all of those things.
Yes.
She said, I was so terrified of losing everything. I convinced myself the only way to deal with this was to not deal with this.
Yeah.
Denial all the way through.
Which makes it, like I just said, my father-in-law passed away from this exact problem because he had had a mental breakdown, I guess, a long, long time ago, like 20 plus, 30 maybe years ago. Rebuilt his life from nothing. Like literally had an emancipation, a mini moment, built it back up, did very well, got everything back on track. Just recently, because he wasn't like in a regular mental health regiment, it became undone. And we're realizing now it was probably like too late. He was trying to fight it, like trying to fight the depression. He was doing everything he could, but because the wheels were in motion, we think he was probably felt himself going back. And didn't want to go there. And so he took his life, unfortunately. But that's what happens when you're living in denial and you're not accepting, okay, I need to treat...
denial long enough,
it's too late.
It's too late.
Yeah.
Mariah is...
Yeah, but wait, also when you don't tell anybody around you and you keep it within yourself, your immediate circle cannot help you.
Right.
Because they don't know. They're just speculating.
Absolutely. However, I will say I do believe that people in Mariah's personal life knew. I think Nick Cannon knew. Yeah. I think her former team knew.
Yes.
And I think the former team... Here's another thing about mental illness. It is crucial to have the right people around you.
Yeah.
Not just if you're a celebrity, but just in everyday life. Like you have to surround yourself with good people.
Yes.
Because they're not going to bring you down. And I think because Mariah is this huge, iconic woman, obviously she has a team around her. But that team is very important because they're your everything.
Yes.
And when they're not doing what they should be doing, it really makes you crash and fall. Harder than you would.
Well, yeah, because they're enabling the manic behavior, let's say. Like, who knows what Mariah will get up to. Whether it be, I need a bottle of wine right now, I need 2, I need pills, I need this, I need weed, I need whatever it is. Rather than saying, actually, you're having a moment and it's going to pass, or like you need to actually not do that, giving you what's going to make it worse. Enablers, yes.
Those are the worst people ever.
But you also want the people around you to be... in air quotes, trained and like be with the therapist too and have a professional say, so Mariah's going to have a moment like this. This is how you recognize it. Say these words to like reinforce her that she's okay, talk her out of it. If people don't have the language and understand what you're going through as a person, like you with the problem, you can't get help. You're not going to get help.
Right.
It's going to get worse.
Because no one knows. It's like driving a bus blind.
Yeah.
If everyone's blind, ain't nobody going to save you.
Yeah.
It's just not right. And I think something obviously happened in Mariah's life where she, number one, got rid of those toxic people. And number two, decided to be so open and honest about this.
Right.
So something like Mariah is, I'm telling you, 2018 is going to be the best year for Mariah.
Yeah.
In a long time.
Oh,
a long time.
Yeah.
How, like when we were just saying earlier how like this was such a sigh of relief for us to see this and be like, oh, okay. Imagine what it feels like for her.
Yeah. Coming out
of the closet this big.
Yeah.
And she's been all over the news all morning long.
Yeah.
And everyone's talking about it.
Yes. Not all morning long. The 4 p.m. news. The follow-up at 6 p.m. CNN.
Top of the fucking hour. Top of the hour.
Yes.
Yeah. But
raising awareness.
Yeah. 100% raising awareness. But like for her to come out of the closet and get that sigh of relief has got to be so liberating for her.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to see what she has to say next time we see her.
Yeah.
To speak on this, in an interview, a Barbara Walters, or even if the next thing we get from her is a song.
Right.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing.
I know.
This just solidifies my love for Mariah
Even more.
a million times more.
Because I'm so glad, like, even through all the nuttiness that we experienced the last few years and, like, Stella in our face and all that mess, we didn't give up.
No, man. And neither did Mariah.
No.
Neither did Mariah. She taught us well, honey.
She did.
She taught us well.
Yes.
Yes. There's a hero.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And BTW, we have a hero back in time.
We
coming,
have
Lambs.
randomly just decided to do Hero as our back in time. It's ready. Is it in the bag yet?
It's not in the bag yet, but it will be.
Hashtag coming soon.
Hashtag coming soon.
But it was happened to be our next back in time anyway. Isn't that
right? I know,
crazy?
right?
Yes.
The time, we're like
In sync.
mentally right in sync with Mariah.
Yeah.
I just think this is so like I can't get enough of this.
It's like, it's shocking in a good way. It's like,
Yeah.
whoa, I wasn't expecting that.
But it's everything you wanted to hear.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the magazine a little bit more. I have mine right here.
Yes.
One of the other things that she talked about, and which our Lamb friend is going to talk to us a little bit more about too, because they say bipolar II.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know what that means. I'm sure a lot of lambs don't know what that means.
Yes.
But in the article, the interviewer asks her to describe what a manic episode felt like to you, as well as what a more of a depressive episode felt like. And Mariah says, for a long time, I thought I had a severe sleep disorder.
Yeah.
But it wasn't normal insomnia, and I wasn't lying awake counting sheep. I was working. I thought working and promoting for days in a row without sleeping was just part of my life.
Yeah.
I was irritable and in constant fear of letting people down. It turns out that I was experiencing a form of mania.
Yeah.
I mean, right?
And she told us she had sleep problems. We knew that about her.
We knew. Hello, crybaby.
It's late at night at 5 a.m. Medicine's
Hello.
not working. The medicine's not working.
Honey, when the medicine don't work,
That's
something's
something wrong.
Something's wrong.
There is the disease in her music. We didn't even see it.
Yeah, she probably didn't even see it
No,
either because,
yeah.
do you think like, oh, I must be bipolar? Or you just think life is life?
Yeah.
You know, when you're coming from a life like hers, which is, you know, growing up was very, turmoil, tumultuous, all of that, you just think going through the ups and downs and then being a celebrity on top of that, that's just normal.
Yeah, because you're out of that now.
Yeah. But you think that this is just how you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
But it's not. And fine. I mean, she was diagnosed in 2001 after the breakdown, but like obviously she was living in denial for a long time. I think after the kids, after the divorce, I think she finally started to really sort of put things together. And now here she is admitting everything. So she's got to be at least on step 1 of a 12-step program, right?
Right.
And that's where you start.
Yes.
And that's all you need is step 1.
Yeah, well, it's like...
Because that can free you so much.
Well, it's like anything else. You know, if all of a sudden you think, I need to lose some weight, how do I do that?
Where do you begin?
Learn about diet. How do I fix my diet? Oh, don't drink soda. Like, you learn the steps to get everything lined up to achieve the goal. So now the goal is I need to get mentally well. Here's my problem. I need to get mentally well.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I think she's finally lining the pieces together, putting the pieces together.
I think so as well. And I also think that, being a mother, she even talks a little bit about it in the article, how she is so strong for her kids. She's not going to they're not going to see her have, an episode or whatever.
Yes.
She's like, these are my kids, they're my everything. And I think being a mother and wanting to be the best she can for her kids helps a lot in her coming out.
Well, yeah, because she has something that is important that she has to show up for. She can't be manic and
right.
depressed.
It's not
everything.
It's not just about putting out an album and things. She's a woman with a real life. She's a mother. She's all of these things, not only to her immediate family, but also to the family.
Yeah,
she's all of these things. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. No, she also talks about how her treatment now is she found the right medicine. So I happen to have like a little knowledge about this because I don't think I'm just telling you, I don't think I've ever spoken about it on the podcast. People think I'm a houseboy. I do nothing all day. I've been called the houseboy. I've actually been taking care of a man who had a stroke. His name's Sam. I've been doing that for 8 years now, I think, ish. He had a stroke when he's a friend of a friend, and then long story short, I've been taking care of him ever since. all kinds of physical problems because of the stroke, still very with it and alert. But his friends tell me that he was bipolar.
Oh.
Probably still is, but, the stroke caused other things. His friends would tell me he would be up and down in mood, but then he'll find the right medication and he tried all the medications. So you have to find the right medication that works for you.
Okay, right.
One problem is people find the right medication and they level out and they feel normal and they think, oh, I'm good now. I'm going to stop my medication.
Uh-huh.
So just a little note for me, Mariah. Hey, Mariah. When you level out, stick with it.
Stick with it, girl.
Number one. And there's all kinds of medications out there because we're trying to find some that work for him right now. And there's it can be the same.
Mariah says one of the things that she does is acupuncture.
Yeah. Well, just for the record, so the psycho medications that level you out, they're families, but then each one has a slight tweak to it. So you really got to find the right one, and it can take a year to find the one that works for you, for it to work, to kick in and level. But so with acupuncture, people are probably thinking, what the fuck does that do? Pins in your skin. So Sam, the guy I take care of, when I first started with him, he was having these weird episodes in the evening when the sun would go down. It's called sundowners. That's the technical term now, I guess.
Sundowners.
Sundowners. The sun will go down. It's very common in nursing homes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The sun goes down. Whatever's wrong with you kind of amplifies in the evening.
Oh.
Anyway, so it turns out he was having anxiety, and it was so bad they couldn't really diagnose it. They thought he was having seizures. We were going to the neurologist, getting all the scans on his brain. He was on seizure medication, and I kept saying, I don't think it's a seizure. I kept pushing back against it. I don't think it's that. I don't think it is. This went on for months, 6 more plus months. Eventually, he had an episode so bad we had to go to the hospital because I said, you're going to have a heart attack right now. We got to go.
Oh, my gosh.
And he's alert when this is happening and talking.
Okay.
We go to the hospital. He's in the ER. They don't know what it is. They don't know what's going on. He's yelling and screaming, and his muscles are it's physically affecting him too.
Oh, wow.
He stays there for a couple of days. Long story short, they can't figure it out. He's having a moment on one of his final days. A random doctor comes in, sees him, and says he's having a geriatric anxiety attack.
Oh, Lord.
So finally we got a diagnosis. I was like, what?
And see how simple it can be?
She just looked at him.
Right.
Didn't even do a test or nothing. So I was like, oh, fuck. Long story short, we're trying to treat him for anxiety now. Then I just Google natural remedies for it. Acupuncture came up. I took him down the street to an acupuncturist. That night, it never happened again.
Really?
Acupuncture.
Putting the needles in the body.
Yeah, particularly in the ears.
Oh.
It was the ear point.
Interesting.
Never happened again.
See, honey, holistic.
Yes.
Holistic approach.
But it goes to show you, number one, the mental disorders have a physical effect.
Absolutely.
Think of Mariah's voice.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a muscle.
Yep.
Acupuncture has an effect on that. It actually helps.
Oh, girl.
Yes.
I'm
in.
I'm like, oh, my God.
I am in with the acupuncture.
Yes, because, I think we all remember the first time Mariah ever spoke about acupuncture was when she was trying to get pregnant after the miscarriages and things.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, girl, I'm down for it. And so she said in the article that she's using acupuncture as one of many of things. She wasn't specific on what she's doing. She's like, that's my business.
Right. You don't want to promote a particular drug.
And here's the other thing. It's probably more of a combination of things.
Oh, I'm on board. Yes.
The people around you.
Yep.
It's the acupuncture. It's
medication.
The therapy. It's the medication.
Yeah.
It's everything. And that's why we have literally this podcast, all you lambs out there, we've been praising how amazing Mariah's been since November?
The end of the nightmare era.
The end of the nightmare era.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh my God, it's because that woman's not here.
Yeah.
But in all reality, that woman was just a part of it.
Right.
And
the problem.
She definitely was enabling and a definite problem. But we see that there were so many other things going on.
Right.
And getting rid of that woman and that situation and those people was probably the last thing she needed to really come full forward.
Yeah.
And take control of what was going on with her.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why we see her today and we're like, oh my God, you gorgeous bitch, you're everything.
Yes, yeah.
But
But also, even like just her weight is under control, meaning she's actually thinking about what she's eating and putting in her body, and she's woken up to the fact.
Right, but and not that Mariah's ever been like had a weight problem or anything like that, but just as a regular human being, anyone who goes up and down in weight so quickly, so severely in such a short amount of time, something has to be wrong.
Yeah.
Like that's just not normal.
Yeah.
Especially for someone like Mariah, who does not tend to be on the heavy side. It doesn't run in her family. She doesn't have those things. So to see her, at the VH1 Hip Hop Honors, where she was on the heavier side and she was so...
All the hits tour.
Or all the hits tour, yes. Where she was just so sort of like down
and uncomfortable in her skin.
Uncomfortable in her own skin.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot for her to be coming out like this. And it so much makes sense now. It all comes together. And I think, Martin, you and I, we've discussed, Mariah has, mental health issues. We've discussed it ever since we first met. And Annie Lamb would know since the breakdown. There's something, but that's not uncommon. And your next door neighbor probably has it too.
Oh, absolutely.
And you probably got it and you don't know it.
Exactly. Yes.
So, I mean, when we sit and we talk about these things, it's not because we're like pointing and being like, ooh, Mariah.
No.
But it's like,
no, but
here she is, a human being.
Here's the problem.
Here's our girl.
Yeah. No, here's the problem is that people don't talk about it. And so when people do have a problem, it's hushed and whispered about and side.
Right, and it's looked at negatively.
Yeah, exactly.
But not anymore. I think this article, not only for Mariah, is going to be amazing, but for everyone who's suffering or thinking they might be suffering from something.
Yeah.
This is like hero level shit right here, this People magazine cover.
Yes.
Oh, don't get me started. It's hero level. I'm telling you, this is going to save a lamb's life.
Oh, 100%. Yes, she's going to get flooded with letters.
Oh, 1,000,000%. And I cannot wait.
Because look at me. Like, I don't think I lived in a mentally unstable situation, but it turns out my father-in-law had a problem. My mother definitely has a problem that we need to address because everyone's in denial. It's Mariah.
Yeah.
Like, it's there.
It's anyone and everyone. And no one wants to talk about it because they think, it's...
You can't. It's rude.
Hush.
Yes.
Hush.
Don't embarrass them.
But come on now.
Yeah.
But if we want to get to the crux of the issue, we got to talk about it.
This is almost like, okay, cut the shit now.
Yeah. No more shit.
Yeah.
We're not dealing with this shit.
Nah.
It is what it is.
Yes.
And it ain't what it ain't.
Yeah. Think of all the... I can't wait to like just look at all those haters that like made fun of her and teased her and... Everyone
I think that everyone who walks by this
is going to feel bad.
People magazine and sees this, they're going to feel like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't have talked shit about her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why this is so perfect for her.
Yeah.
I also think like, from the business aspect, this is amazing for the PR level.
Charm Bracelet 2.0.
Charm Bracelet 2.0, baby. We are getting her back into the non-diva, the human, your friend, your girl next door.
The American treasure.
This is genius.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
Perfect
timing. And that, I mean, not to say that, obviously Mariah needed to do this in her own time, but I'm saying as a business, this is legit, honey. But she's setting us up for success.
Yes. But look at how, when Glitter happened, it was Mariah had this breakdown. Then Glitter came out with the flop, and Mariah's crazy. And that's what people were left with, that Mariah's crazy. Then she came out, she rehabbed herself, got herself back together, came out and openly spoke about it. Like, I didn't look after myself. I was exhausted. I was with the wrong people. Fast forward to the last 2 years, Mariah's world, the engagement that broke up. The diamond ring, New Year's Eve.
All the craziness.
All over again. It was literally Glitter 2.0. So now we're getting...
worse, actually.
Oh, way worse.
Way worse.
1,000,000 times worse. Stella's in our face.
Oh, God, that bitch. Oh, God, that bitch.
Well, again, she's like fixed herself up, and now she's going to talk about it more. But it's not like, this story again, it's an amplified version of that story. But real, obviously.
Yep.
But it's going to make people love her all over again.
The impact of this is huge. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal job.
Yeah.
And this bitch is brave.
Yes.
She is strong.
Yes.
She is everything.
Everything.
This bitch is tough.
And I think it's been a universal lamb feeling today. Everyone's proud. Like,
absolutely.
Oh, Mariah.
Yes,
we love you.
Girl, we got you, girl.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, we're here.
Like, we're here. We're here for her.
Yes.
I love this bitch so much.
I know,
can't
right?
even. Where's my tea? Girl, don't even. I think we should take a quick splash break and come back with our...
Did we cover all the topics?
Well, we'll talk about it after.
Okay. So we found out of the universe lines up sometimes.
Always.
So this morning we found a lamb / clinical psychologist / music therapist, Luis Rivera.
How you doing, Luis?
We got him up on the FaceTime, and we had a little conversation with him, and he's going to break down Bipolar II disorder for
and
us.
all of that.
Yeah.
So we'll take a splash break. We'll come back with that, and we'll be back shortly.
Okay, guys, so please welcome to the show clinical psychologist, board-certified music therapist, and certified lamb, Luis Rivera.
Luis Rivera, welcome.
Hi, guys. Thank you.
How are you today?
Doing great. Very excited about this very recent news that we got today. Pretty grateful that, Mariah has stepped into the spotlight with this very important mental health issue. So very excited to be here.
It's big. No one
It's
knew we were
huge.
going to wake up to this news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you are here to help us sort of work our way through it for people like us. Like, I don't know what exactly bipolar is.
Yeah,
I don't know what the different types are. And you're going to help us through all of that.
Yeah, because I'm sure
Absolutely.
the lambs have a lot of questions. Like,
Yes.
what the hell is this?
I saw People magazine and she looks gorgeous, beautiful, but
Yeah.
girl, what? So you've been a lamb for a long time. Tell us a little about your lamb history.
I have. The first album that my dad ever bought for me was Daydream when I was, I think, 9 or 10 years old, and I saw this lady in the video, in the fantasy video, just like on a roller coaster, looking really cute and stuff. And I was like, this is too much. And so my dad got me that record. I heard Fantasy, I heard One Sweet Day, and I heard Underneath the Stars, and I was done. It was it.
Sold.
I didn't even know that I wanted to be a singer. I didn't even know that. I just loved it. And ever since then, it was just kind of like, I can't live without this music.
Right.
I know. She is that girl. She's
Yeah,
that girl.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Have you seen any live shows?
I have. I actually saw her at Angel's Advocate in Boston.
Oh,
yeah.
And I remember, because I'm a singer, I was a little like down that I was like, man, I wish I were seeing, prime Mariah
like
or
Daydream
whatever.
tour or
Yeah,
something, right?
yeah. And I remember being in that show, and she did that half part of Make It Happen, which was just absolutely incredible. And I was still like, I wish it would have been way back then, but still, like, that show was absolutely incredible. When Hero came up, I cried. When Belong Together came up, I cried too. It was just incredible. But it was the day she chose to cut Subtle Invitation from the set list. I was really upset about that.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's a lamb favorite.
It is. It is.
We've just been
can't
jamming
even-
out to Charm Bracelet all
I
over
know.
again.
We're charm bracelet fanatics.
Yep.
So, Luis, now you're down in the Dominican Republic.
I am.
And what is the lamb situation down in the Dominican Republic?
It's not great. I think that a lot of people are just not aware that she's still doing stuff.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I just haven't encountered like the right lamb community, but I think down here everybody's more into like more current stuff, I think.
They're definitely into Rihanna, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that some people, I read this tweet from somebody today saying like, I like her music, but I don't like her. And now this explains everything.
Oh,
And
Lord.
I think a lot of people here and in other countries who aren't necessarily like English-speaking countries, which this is not an English-speaking country, I think a lot of people are just thrown off by her eccentricities and stuff like that, so they don't really follow her. And but I have run into like really young lambs, like 17, 18, 19-year-olds who are singers and stuff who like definitely know what they're talking about. So it's
Well,
not
that's good to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
We got some support down there in the Dominican.
Yep.
I love it. Okay, so quickly, like we were introducing you as board certified music therapist, but you're also a clinical psychologist.
That's right. Yep.
So you're going to be able to answer all of our questions, and so we love
I hope
that.
so.
Well, I hope so too. Hello, girl. But tell us a little about your education, your history.
Okay. I graduated from clinical psychology here in Dominican Republic in 2007. I then went to Berklee College of Music to pursue my music therapy degree, and that was another 4 years of schooling. I got board certified in 2012, and I moved back to Dominican Republic in 2013, and I've been working as a music therapist and singer here ever since.
Amazing.
So that's, pretty much me in a nutshell.
Now, what does music therapy exactly involve? Like, how does it help people?
Music therapy is the live clinical use of music and musical interventions to achieve non-musical goals. So we're not trying to teach patients to do anything musical, but we're trying to improve non-musical areas in their life, such as attention, memory, emotional expression, and a bunch of different stuff. I've actually used Mariah's songs in some of my psych groups for people. Oh, well, that's a coincidence. For people with bipolar disorder, for people with borderline personality disorder, and other things, to kind of learn to navigate those things. Mm-hmm. Her songs are really great to talk about just emotional awareness and just a bunch of triggers and stuff like that. So, basically, that's music therapy in a nutshell.
Well, first of all, Mariah's the perfect person for music therapy. I didn't even know it. I feel like this bitch been therapizing me for the whole life.
For years. For years. Yeah,
didn't even know it.
I've tried to reach out to other artists like Pink and Alanis Morissette and other people that I'm really inspired by as songwriters, because I don't think people are aware of how powerful this stuff can be. Mm-hmm. Like, music is in pretty much everybody's lives all the time, and even Mariah says that she can never do a show without doing Hero because she doesn't know whose life she's going to touch with that song that night.
Right.
So. It's super important work, and music therapy is in the forefront of a bunch of stuff that's happening now, even with rehab, speech rehab, and physical rehab. So there's just a bunch of stuff going on around music therapy. So if anybody wants to find out more, they can go to musictherapy.org and find out a little more.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, so every lamb in the land woke up to the news that Mariah has come out as being diagnosed with bipolar II. So can you tell us... bipolar disorder 2. Can you tell us what that is, and also what's the difference are there 3 different versions?
How
is there
many
one?
bipolars are there?
And what are the differences?
There are two. There are 2 bipolar disorders, and basically, bipolar disorder is just a mental health condition that's defined by episodes or periods of mood disturbances, like extreme mood disturbances. And the problem is that people are so colloquial about it that it's very hard to understand exactly what it is and what it isn't. It's a little bit of a struggle. People seem to think that when somebody has erratic behavior or just changes their behavior at the drop of a hat, then they're bipolar. It's a phrase that I hear all the time. Mm-hmm. I don't understand what's wrong with this guy. He's bipolar or something. Mm. And that's not the case. The changes in bipolar disorder can take days, weeks, months, or even in some cases years. But the changes are so obvious that it's a little bit more marked. And so the differences between bipolar disorder 1 and 2 is basically what they gravitate towards. So if you put in like a scale, on one side mania and on the other side depression, a bipolar 2 patient will normally gravitate more towards the depression side, and they won't have full-blown manic episodes. They will have episodes of something called hypomania. And hypomania, basically, a person just has a sustained mood that is elevated and has a little bit of grandeur, or they can be irritable, but it doesn't go towards like psychosis, and they don't usually exhibit behaviors that are like super risky behavior, like gambling or prostitution or stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mm-hmm. So basically, they'll exhibit.
Pardon to interrupt, but so do you think Mariah's TRL moment, was that just her being hypermanic, or was that just like a lack of sleep?
Hypo. So Hypomanic, like when they put hypo in front of the mania part, is just to kind of make it a little less severe, because that's the basic difference between full-on mania and hypomania. Hypomania is just a little less severe, and they don't like ever really break contact with reality. Like personally speaking, I never thought the TRL thing was that big of a deal.
Right.
I thought she was just being quirky, and she was definitely off. She was definitely off, but I don't think it was like this, explosive manifestation of like, oh, Mariah's crazy. I really don't think it was, but I think it was so out of character for her. And this is something that Carson Daly said this morning in an interview. He said, she came up and she was doing all this stuff, and it was just so not Mariah that definitely we could tell something was up. The TRL thing happened shortly before she was admitted. So, yeah, absolutely. It could have totally been some sort of a hypomanic episode. Because...
Well, wait one sec. So when you say mania, like, what does that mean? Like, is it a violent state? Is she extra happy? Is she super sad?
Energized?
Yeah, like what is mania?
So mania basically means that this person just has high levels of energy. They feel like they can do anything. We're going to do some behaviors that we don't normally do. We're flitting from one idea to the other. We have our sleep patterns are completely compromised. So, she talks a lot about in 2001 about the fact that she never sleeps. And she was leaving those voicemails too.
Yeah.
This is some of the stuff that can happen during a hypomanic episode. You can spend a couple of weeks of not sleeping well, and you're just going from one idea to the other, and you're exhibiting these behaviors that are not necessarily 100% risky behaviors like you would see in a normal manic episode of a bipolar type 1 patient. But they're out of character enough that, they're concerning.
Right.
Yeah, that you definitely know something's up.
So I wanted to go about how does bipolar, does it have like because I feel like maybe Mariah's sister and maybe some of her family might be suffering from things, because we heard things about her brother saying things that Mariah was bipolar or doing those things.
Because it's in the family.
Does that, is there a genetic disposition to this?
Yeah, absolutely. Most mental health issues have genetic predisposition included in it, but they're the cause of bipolar disorder is not exactly very easily understood. However, generally speaking, we could say that it's just like depression and like alcoholism and stuff like that. A lot of this stuff is genetic, and in families where there's a lot of mental health issues, it's obviously a little bit riskier for family members because it already exists in your gene pool. Yeah. Having said that, bipolar disorder isn't something that's purely genetic. There's other environmental stuff that come into play to kind of just have it show up. And also, bipolar disorder doesn't just show up one day. This is something, she was diagnosed in 2001, but we don't know how long she had been struggling with this from before. This is somebody who survived poverty, family violence. She survived a bunch of stuff that we all know she went through. So, I mean, who's to say that, one of the first episodes she had was while she was with Tommy or something like that. And he had her, and he could have definitely had her, under control, because he controlled absolutely everything about her life. So you don't really know. I read DeMiz's book one time, and he talks about how hard it was for her to even get time to get out of the house. She would just run away to go get McDonald's. Right. You know what I mean? So we don't really know a lot about that period. It's obvious that it was a lot easier for us to find out about this stuff when in 2001, when she was a little, more free and she was just doing whatever she wanted to do. So, I mean, we don't really know when this started. We just know that she got diagnosed in 2001.
Now, so we have a lot of people who listen to our podcast and they're probably alone. They don't have many people to talk to. How would somebody know if they have the symptoms of bipolar? What would they be experiencing on the inside?
So some of the things that you could experience on the inside is, like I said before, bipolar type 2 people tend to gravitate more towards the depressive side of the scale. So it's not that bipolar 2 is a milder form of bipolarity. That's not the case, because they both have their difficulties. People with bipolar type 1 are more at risk to do risky behavior, like gambling and prostitution and stuff like that. And people who are on the bipolar 2 side of the scale they just have longer periods of depression.
And a normal person would not. They have a level mood that's consistent.
Right. So normal, like quote unquote normal people, we navigate somewhere in the middle of this scale, right?
Right.
Stuff will happen in our lives that, will make us just be sad for a while, and that will make us just go through, hardship like everybody does. And some other stuff will happen where you'll have a really good month and everything is cool, but you're emotionally stable, right? So somebody who might be having a bipolar disorder there'll just be stuff that happens in their life that interrupts the normalcy of their life. You know what I mean? Like, I've been in bed for a month but then all of a sudden I've been in bed for a month, but then all of a sudden I'm super creative, and then I'm super productive, and I can do anything. And then 3 weeks later I'll be back in bed. So that's not quote unquote normal. That's something that is like disrupting your normal day-to-day life. And having said that, usually people who are diagnosed with bipolar type 2, their life is less disrupted than people with bipolar type 1 because when you're depressed, you don't really do much. So you're not going to go out. Okay. So you're not going to go out and exhibit these risky behaviors, right? So this is probably why we haven't heard of Mariah having like a sex scandal or, the closest thing that I can think of is, remember when she recorded those songs with Eminem?
Yeah. Can we hear one sec?
Yeah.
Can we let this go? Yeah. Sorry.
Very loud moment.
Are we good?
This.
Hang on.
Hold on. Okay, so start back up with the Eminem recording.
Remember when she recorded it?
Yeah, so this is probably why we haven't heard that Mariah has had like a huge sex scandal or like sex pictures or something like that come out. The thing I can think of that is closer to this is, remember when she did those tracks with Eminem and she called herself Mary Poppins, and she was like,
yeah,
that's the closest I can kind of come to her kind of maybe being on the edge of something that's a little more risque. You know what I mean? But having been diagnosed for so long, for possibly 2 decades already, or even longer, without her even knowing it, like I think she's exhibited not very much in terms of risky behavior. We'll see every once in a while something will happen where we'll all just be like, well, why'd she do that? Or she'll release a song really quickly, like I Don't, and then she'll do the video in 24 hours, and then all of a sudden she's talking about that, and you're like, why is she doing this? You know what I mean? But she hasn't had this like manic episode of,
like Britney Spears,
I'm going to go out
umbrella.
like Britney Spears. Yeah, yes. Exactly.
Okay.
Absolutely. She didn't shave her head. She didn't do, and I'm not, I'm just saying those are important. Those are important examples to talk about.
So, but looking back at Mariah's career, like you were saying with the Eminem recordings and things, or even the TRL, we haven't seen a lot of depressive or manic things from her. But what is the treatment? Like, what type of treatment is there? What do you think she's been doing to sort of help this, other than, acupuncture or something that she was talking about in the People magazine? What are the medical
options?
Thank you, Martin.
Sure. You know what? I'm really impressed that she's kept stuff so together, despite like little quirks and stuff like that. I'm really impressed that she's kept stuff all together since like 2001, because she was initially so reluctant to accept that diagnosis. She was basically, as far as we know, she was basically told, oh, you're diagnosed with this. And she was like, I'm not having it. And I'm just going to, pick myself up and release through the rain and everything's going to be cool. I don't know how she did that, because people with bipolar disorder need treatment. Like they need treatment. They need to get therapy, and they need to be on meds. And I'm not a psychiatrist, so I'm not able to prescribe medication, but I can tell you that the good thing about medication is that it usually makes the patient a lot more liable to comply with therapy and to comply with a bunch of stuff that is just going to make them more aware and more mindful of who they are, because medication alone doesn't solve anything. It's when you're in treatment and you have a therapist who is guiding you and educating you as to, how can I recognize that I'm in a hypomanic episode? How can I recognize that I am, in falling into my depressive patterns? And what can I do when I realize that these behaviors are coming up to kind of just ameliorate the situation and just be like, you know what, fine. This is happening, and this is what I have to do. These are my triggers. I need to stay away from that. I also think about the fact that, Mariah likes to have a drink. She likes to have a cocktail.
Splash, darling.
She likes to have a splash whenever she wants. And so I wonder how that has interacted with any sort of treatment or medication that she sought before.
Correct.
So even though she didn't get, she said that she initially rejected it. In today's interview, she said that she finally found a combination of medication that works for her, which leads me to believe that at some point, at least she must have tried different things during all these years that have been going on.
Right.
I don't think emancipation of Mimi could have happened if she weren't stable and if she weren't surrounded by the people she was surrounded by.
Correct. But now the other thing I want to talk about is when you talk about the triggers of what can cause this, that, or the other. Now, I go back to the marriage with Nick Cannon and the pregnancy with the them babies. Is there a hormonal thing, especially for women, that can sort of trigger manic or depressive modes or moods?
You know what? I'm not entirely sure. I think that definitely while she was pregnant, pregnancy is so important, and it was so important to her that I'm sure she was taking care of herself, possibly more than she had been before. I'm not exactly sure how hormones could have played into that, but we didn't hear or see anything that was out of character during that pregnancy. If anything, she was taking care of herself even more, and if she was more careful, and she did the Christmas special, and she was just being very wholesome during that time. So. And now, Nick Cannon must have been a great source of support to her too, because he was married to her. He probably knew what was going on.
Right.
But
it goes back to surrounding yourself with the people that you need to surround yourself with, because it is an ongoing thing. And we know what she's been through in the past few years with her team and whatnot. How can surrounding yourself with enablers, I guess this is
amplify the problem.
Amplify the problem, make it even worse, right?
Yeah. Did you guys see? Did you guys watch Mariah's World?
Oh, did we, darling?
I just here's the thing with Stella. The thing with Stella is that I just always perceived her as somebody who just would celebrate absolutely anything Mariah did, and that's not good. Even if we take away the bipolar disorder, I've always been concerned as a lamb that whether or not she's surrounded by the right people, because she just has an empire, and it's not just an empire. She has a legend status to uphold. And there was so much stuff that happened between 2015 and 2017 that I was just but a legend wouldn't do that, and just having herself surrounded by the right people is key to somebody like this, because it just makes her organized, productive. It can help when, maybe in the middle of a hypomanic episode, it can help to nip in the bud some of these ideas or these grandiose things that she says she wants to do. Can you imagine if Mariah was just I'm going to bring back Bianca and I'm going to go on tour like Bianca, you know what I mean? Somebody has to help her keep that in check.
Say no.
And when you're somebody like Mariah Carey, being the legend that she is, it's so important to do that because you're so creative and you get these awesome ideas all the time. And I mean, she has the money to do whatever she wants to do. It's just a question of, what ideas and what concepts and what things do I want to use in my career, and what are they going to help me push forward, and what stuff is just like, this is just, I just want to do this for shits and giggles. You know what I mean? Right. And I think that just being surrounded by the right people really makes sure that, okay, these people, A, are your support system. B, they know what your goals are. So they will try to keep you on track when you start to veer off. It's so important to have a friend or somebody to be like, hey, you know what? This thing that you're doing, it just kind of seems to me like, this isn't, what we've talked about for so long. So, you want to kind of keep that in check.
Yeah. Okay, Luis, we're going to wrap things up, but I have a final question.
Sure.
As fans and people who are on the outside of Mariah's world, what can we do to back her up in when we come across people making fun of her or making jokes about her? What can we do and what can we say? What kind of language can we use to push back against anybody, haters, quote unquote?
I'll tell you what, I've been really impressed by the outpouring of love and support that she's gotten, even from people who don't identify as lambs. I think it's just a question of when you encounter something like that, don't entertain that in the sense of you're not gonna, if somebody's hating on her and saying, oh, she's crazy, blah 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 blah, you don't want to speak with that same tone. You don't want to go and bash them back. You want to be like, hey, you know what, it's a mental health issue, it involves this and this and this, and I think she's really brave for doing that, and just kind of not entertain that. You know what I mean? People are just going to be trolls. People are going to be trolls. People are going to be trolls and goats, and
haters are going to hate.
Yes,
haters are going to hate.
Positivity,
and we give them positivity.
And we give, and then no, Cindy, no. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Luis Rivera, a board-certified musical therapist and clinical psychologist. Thank you for your input, and thank you for your Lamely knowledge.
And how can our listeners find you on social media if they want to follow you?
Okay, my Instagram is @LuisArmando_R, and my Twitter account is @LuisArmandoR.
Okay, great.
All right. Thank you for supporting Mariah down there in the Dominican.
Yes.
And we love and appreciate you.
Love you much.
Thank you.
Bye.
That was Luis.
Thank you, Luis, for telling us all of it.
Yes, I think we're going to have Luis back on.
I think we will.
Yeah.
He lots of good talk.
Yes.
This was the perfect timing for him to tell us all about that, because I didn't know there was
one and two,
this or what it meant.
Yes,
because that's the one thing that they don't get in the article.
Exactly,
they really don't say that. And this is honestly the first time I've ever heard anything about Bipolar II.
Me too, because even Mariah in the article, Mariah is saying, "Oh, one of my things was I couldn't sleep and I'll do work." Well, what does that mean? Does that mean I have it?
Right? Are you workaholic, so you're bipolar?
Yeah.
They don't get into specifics, which is perfectly fine, but that's why we have people to let us know.
To elaborate, yes.
And it makes so much sense now. It makes so much sense about everything, about the last 2 years specifically.
Yeah.
And one of the things in the article, Mariah specifically talks about what she's been through in the last, the interviewer says, looking back on the past few years, are there any specific things you wish you had skipped? Mm-hmm. And she says, I wish we could just erase them. And we all know what she's talking about.
We wish that too.
Well, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Can we erase all of it?
Yeah.
It was bad time.
For everybody.
Time.
Yeah.
Bad time.
Uh-huh.
But Mariah saying that she realizes that makes me love her.
Me too.
Thank you, Mariah.
Yes.
Now I know I'm not crazy.
Exactly. That's the thing. You think you're the crazy one. No. There was something wrong. And we could see it. It was coming through.
At 100%.
Yeah. So we're over here going,
from
what?
Mariah's World to the VH1 Hip Hop Honors to all of these, the outfits, the way that she was twinning with a grown woman.
Yep.
There was negative things going on.
Yeah.
But you know what? The other thing.
Oh my God. Can I just say thank the fuck Thank you, Lord, for
When you
not.
cursing with the Lord's name and shit.
Thank you, Lord, for not allowing that cosmetic store in Beverly Hills to open up.
Oh, thank God.
Can you imagine?
Thank God.
The disaster?
Once we finish this, though, we're going to talk a little bit about that Hostel app she just did.
Yes.
And we'll talk about that in a minute. But what I do want to like sort of wrap this up in saying is, even though Mariah went through all of those negative moments in the past 2 years, she does not throw anyone under the bus in here.
No.
Because we as lambs, we know what she's talking about, but she does not say a name.
Yes.
Because Mariah is a lady.
Yes.
And you know, and also shout out to Christopher Buckle, what he posted today on Instagram.
What he said?
Did you see it?
No, what?
Because he had said something. I'll just say that Christopher Buckle, I just love him. He said, when it comes to Mariah, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. And he said, if you know her, you love her. Like, she's like a true, genuine, sweet woman.
Yeah.
She does not have meanness in her.
We know that.
Like, yes, we get the I don't know hers and this, that, and the other. But, like, Mariah is a genuinely sweet person.
Yes.
You know? And people don't understand that.
Yeah.
I feel.
Do you know what went through my head, too? So, you know, when Nick Cannon was talking recently-ish, he went on some podcast and he was saying, they're asking about why he broke up with Mariah, and he said, dark forces.
Yes, I do remember
And so
that.
I'm thinking label executives are in the way, like this and that. I'm like, did you run away because she was mentally ill?
Oh.
Is that what dark forces means?
Interesting.
Like you couldn't handle that? Meanwhile, shout out to Brian Tanaka, who's up there in the whole mess.
Yes, he is.
Not running away.
Supporting our girl.
Yes.
Yes, he is.
Uh-huh.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
That's really interesting.
Because if anyone was going to run away, it's Brian Tanaka.
Right.
He like probably got kicked out and came back. He's by your side.
I'm down for Brian. I think he's cute. I think he's sexy.
Yeah, I think I'm down for Brian
I love
too.
him, but
I'm like really warming up to him now.
oh, for sure.
But no marriage.
No marriage.
No.
Mariah ain't got time for that. No,
We can't handle that right now.
But it's really interesting to think like, okay, like Mariah's coming out of the closet with this
yeah.
for the world, but like, you know, Nick Cannon knew what was going on. He knew her,
for sure. Yes.
you know, her
Yes,
mood,
yes.
her irritabilities, her
Yes.
insomnia, you know, and the ways this bipolar sort of infiltrated her life. He knew. But I think, like, yeah, okay, you could say, yes, he ran away from the marriage, or like he was doing things outside of the marriage he shouldn't have been doing. But I feel like looking at their relationship now, the reason he still loves her so much is because he knows what a strong woman she is, because he knows all of the things that she has to deal with on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Not just what she grew up with, as, you know, with the family and all of this, but like on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And he sees the strength within her. And I think that's why they're able to maintain a relationship.
Yeah.
Of, you know.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. We just don't like
don't know.
Nick. I know.
I don't know. Nick.
He is what he is.
Sometimes
but
I like him, and then he gets to my nerves, and I'm like, I hate you again.
I know, right? Although, you know, all these lambs had sent us, he was just on
The Dish Nation.
The Dish Nation.
Yeah.
And he was saying really good things about Mariah.
Yeah.
How strong she is,
Yeah.
blah, 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 this, that, and the other. And, you know, normally he's talking out of his ass.
Uh-huh.
And so I was like, okay, Nick, thanks.
But he was
Thanks
being
for not
nice.
saying anything stupid.
But he was being nice because Debrat was right there next to him.
Well, true, and
Gonna
she'll beat
clobber
his
him.
ass.
Yeah,
She'll beat his ass. But still, at the same time, it's just nice to hear him say good things, because you know, you never know what's going to come out of his mouth. Because you know, he's the type of person, he will say things just to get fucking attention.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's that girl.
I know.
He's that girl.
I know.
Fucking Nick. All right. So, anyways, let's wrap up the People magazine, the bipolar talk.
Do you have final thoughts?
Final thoughts.
I'm feeling good.
I feel amazing about it.
Yeah.
I'm happy for her.
Yeah.
I know what a strong woman she is. She's everything.
I'm relieved she's getting treatment for it, and not just like one treatment. She's doing all the options. I love that Luis explained to us like the medication makes people open to the therapy.
Right.
That's
because
that was
I feel like
interesting.
I feel like when you're on a bipolar, you know, mental health issue, it's the combination of everything.
Yes.
That makes it work for you.
Yeah.
It's not just one thing. It's not just popping a pill. It's literally everything. So good for her. Good for her getting rid of those enablers. Good for her for recognizing what the problem is.
Yeah.
Good for her for coming out and speaking on it.
Yeah.
This is big.
Yes.
I love Mariah.
Shout out to the new team
Honey,
for not
shout
trying
out.
to keep it a secret.
Yes.
For realizing, actually, if you talk about this, it's going to help you. And it's better that you do it rather than Allison or someone else.
Right. Because, there were the whispers, and even I think Mariah mentions it in the article. She was so afraid that someone was going to say something.
Yeah.
And you know who that person would be. We don't even have to name names because it's that woman. Even though Morgan allegedly, Morgan had mentioned it before, and that's fine.
What do we do with Morgan now? He was telling us the truth.
We do nothing with him, just like we did nothing with him yesterday.
But was he that bad of a brother now? Maybe he was
No.
trying to get her help, and she was resisting it.
Well, that may be, and that's perfectly fine. That was then, not now. Now things maybe could heal between them. Who knows?
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Because Mariah needs her family.
She does.
She does.
All right.
Just saying.
Well, speaking of family, should we transition into regular moments of the week?
What are the regular moments?
Should we talk about Allison doing her press tour again?
Oh, yes. Now, Allison got on a nice fancy coat, put her ass in front of the UK Sun tabloid, and started talking crazy out of her no-teeth mouth.
I know, right?
I know, but I really do wish her well.
Me too. I get it too, though.
I feel like she's doing the best she's probably been in a long time. But anyways, tell the lambs, just in case they don't know, what Allison's been up to.
Well, Allison needs teeth. And
honey, she does.
No, literally, she's trying to get money for teeth. Poor thing. It's not funny.
Poor thing.
Can someone just send Allison some teeth, please?
You saw that coat she was wearing. That's a mouthful of money right there. She could get her teeth done with that coat.
I know. I don't know what to do with Allison because I get that she's like in front of us talking nice and like, Mariah, could someone help me? I can't believe my son has abandoned me. No one's helping me. What's going on? But when you turn the camera off and you get someone alone in the room, they can be a whole other person.
Whole different person, right.
Yep.
So Allison once again sold her story, which is the same fucking story, to the UK tabloids. And they actually like sat down and did like a little video interview with her and everything. And she's talking about the stuff that she's been talking about recently. The cult, the sexual abuse, out there in the Long Island, people with cloaks, all kinds of craziness.
But now that we know that there's mental health problems in the family,
I think we already knew that.
Yes.
It just wasn't confirmed.
Combine that with crack cocaine allegedly and heroin and like whatever she was allegedly doing, your brain's all scrambled eggs.
That's why I'm like, okay, I think, because, she's telling these stories about like how she was brought to this cult and there was all these things and all this stuff is going on.
That could be a dream.
I think her brain is so scrambled that she thinks it's real. Yeah. And it's really not.
But
or I could be wrong. Who knows?
No, Roseanne Barr, Roseanne?
Yeah.
TV show Roseanne. She, I think like after the show, she was saying that like she was molested by her father or her brother or someone within her immediate family. And then later took it back and said, I was having mental health problems at the time. Like I didn't think it was real, but I thought it was real.
Well, first of all, that bitch is crazy.
Right. But look at how a mental health problem without drugs can just turn something into reality.
Right.
That's not real.
What you are perceiving is your reality, even though it might not be. But it's all what your brain is processing. Yeah. And I think Allison, with everything that she's been through, which is, not a life you would wish on anyone. But I just don't think she's thinking clearly.
Exactly.
Even though she's like sober and like doing the best she can right now, she's still not thinking clearly because it's that ship has sailed. Yeah. She's not coming back.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because even in this interview, I don't know, because I sent you the link and then did you watch the actual video?
No, I read the article.
Okay. If you watch the video, when she says these things, it's almost like she's closing her eyes and trying to visualize what she's saying. It's almost like she's trying to remember a dream. Yeah. And that's how it's coming across when she explains these things. And there just is this little bit of this.
Doubt.
This isn't.
Yeah.
Right. Like you're sort of getting these things from somewhere, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's like you said, a doubt. What do they call it in the courtroom?
Circumstance. No, hearsay.
Oh yeah. Oh well, that's not the hearsay.
that's not
Judge,
hearsay.
no,
No.
not that. But you know, when the jury says, "Oh, is there a benefit of the doubt?" or is like beyond a reasonable doubt?
Right. Uh-huh.
Yes, that's what they say in the jury. I should know because you know I'm addicted to the courtroom.
But also, like in science, bring me the evidence.
Right. Exactly.
That's why
Right.
Neil Tyson talks about aliens and abductions. Take a picture, bring me a piece back, bring me anything.
Tell us something. Where is this church, Allison?
Bring me the hood.
Y'all said y'all was going to the church up on the hill in the Long Island.
Yes.
But where the church at, girl?
Yeah.
Tell me why no one else can come up with this cult
Yes.
of people who are underground doing things.
Yes.
Where
Yes.
they at?
Yeah.
What's their name?
Uh-huh.
Where they didn't just disband all of a sudden, did
Right.
they?
Uh-huh.
Who are these people?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And even if the church burnt down, it's in the council record somewhere that there's a church
yes,
there.
in the council records.
Yes, it's somewhere. Bring me that receipt.
Right. Give us a location. Give us a date
Anything.
and time.
Yeah.
Anything.
Uh-huh.
You're not giving us anything. It's basically she's giving us.
Show me a scar.
He said, she said.
Exactly.
Yeah. You could say all you want, Allison, but it's no. Mm-hmm. But
Poor Allison.
I know, poor Allison. We do wish her well. But it just goes to show with this whole thing about bipolar disorder, and even what Morgan had said years ago. It runs in the family, you know, and sometimes it's episodes and it's ups and it's downs and it's all of these things. So Allison obviously probably suffers the most out of all of the family.
Yeah, well, I'm sure-
unfortunately.
yes.
Well, just like our friend was saying, our lamb doctor was saying how some people it can manifest in doing, prostitution or things of that nature. Obviously, that's how it affected Allison. Mariah's a little bit different.
Yes.
And she does it
Creatively.
Yes. And, insomniac and all of those things.
Yeah.
But you see how it can affect two people completely differently. Yeah. So more power to Allison and everybody. And I hope that Mariah coming out with this will help her and Morgan, her brother, maybe come back together. If this was a problem, because we don't know.
I mean, obviously Allison needs help, but I feel like there's no help Mariah can give her financially.
Like I said, the ship sailed, honey.
Gone. Yeah.
There's just no coming back.
Yeah.
And the fact that she's still out there.
And
she's still out there selling this fucking story.
Yeah.
Honey, please.
And it could be a case, who are Allison's friends? Maybe they're enablers. Maybe Allison has her own team in the orbit
Honey, of course.
of not good people.
Yeah. Of course. Absolutely.
And so, you give Allison the teeth, it's sold the next day. For crack cocaine, Allison's back on the TV again.
You know it.
Yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly. We don't know anything.
But we hope Allison gets well. Can someone send her some teeth for free?
Somebody. Sell that coat, bitch. That was a good coat. Yeah. Oh, man, but poor Al, she could barely even walk. I was going to say, did you see that interview? No, you didn't see the interview. Honey, she's an old lady.
Oh,
she's
Allison.
like 65 years old.
Is she ready?
Yes.
Jesus.
I don't know what year she was born, but she's in her 60s for sure. Mariah's almost 50.
Yeah.
And oh my God, the mom has got to be almost 80. Pat.
Yeah.
Patricia. Queen Pat.
What's she up to?
Oh, honey, she's living the luxurious life.
I'm sure she's good. Yeah.
She's perfectly fine. We ain't got to worry about her, honey. Okay, so one last thing. We're not going to do our obsessed thing. We're not going to do Lamb Out. But we just want to talk about the other big thing that happened this week outside of the bipolar headline.
Can we talk about one small thing and then go into that?
Yeah.
The kids going to school.
Oh, yes. Oh, them kids.
Finally.
Yes. They are in the school, which I've been saying they need to be. Because Mariah posted on her Instagram that she visited them in their classroom.
Yeah. Well,
I love that.
I like it just so that they can be around other kids their age, learn in that environment, socialize, learn social skills.
100%.
Maybe Rocky doesn't want to be a singer or comedian. Maybe he wants to be a plumber.
Or a boxer, because we saw that all of that happening as well.
Yes. Or, he can find his stick.
Yeah. No, they're going to do what they want, but I just feel like having them around and socializing, and I know that they go to karate and they go to the boxing and they go to all of those things, but
it's different when you're
different
in a
than
room.
like a classroom.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm really happy that they're doing that while they're out there in LA.
No, but then I got all excited because then I thought, what if we get Mariah/Princess Diana moments where she drops them off in a new outfit every day?
Oh my God,
and
right?
It's high fashion. She picks them up.
Yes, high fashion paparazzi moments.
But then we get like jeans and a tank top.
I would rather see Mariah dropping the kids off of school and the paparazzi snapping pics than her leaving, Nobu or Catch paparazzi snapping pics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be glorious.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Oh, I would love that.
Even though it's probably super
God,
annoying for Mariah.
I want that now.
I know.
Put that in the suggestion box. Yes. Girl, call the paparazzi when you're dropping the kids off. Actually, because Mariah's an insomniac, she probably doesn't drop the kids off. She's sleeping when they go to school.
She'll probably pick them up.
Yeah,
which is just as good.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Whatever.
She wakes up. She picks the kids up.
Yeah.
They go home. When they did their Easter.
The Easter.
Yeah, no, they were painting the eggs.
That was cute.
Oh, there were so many cute den baby moments.
Do you know I never looked at Nick the same again ever since that Easter photo? Where he's in the bunny.
She's laying on top
and he's
of him.
in the rabbit outfit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, you are Mr. Mariah.
Oh, honey, we knew it then. We knew it.
Sidebar.
But that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, anyway.
He is who he is.
Whatever. He's an idiot.
Okay, so the other big thing this week was this new commercial she released.
Yeah.
For a Hostel app.
Filing it under #Nightmare Era.
100% Nightmare Era. We know that she filmed this.
On that nightmare trip.
Yes. When she was
Austria. Mm-hmm. She was in Spain for some random reason. We didn't know why. Now we know.
She was filming.
Well, now we know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we didn't know what Hostel was.
We didn't know what she was doing, but she had sort of hinted at doing something, and we saw pictures.
Of her and the bird.
Of her, yes. It's called a dove.
I know it's a dove. Which is off-brand BT Dub.
BT Dub. Okay,
we are all about butterflies over here.
Hello, what do you think this is? You're new or something? Okay, so this came sort of out of the blue.
And then she went to Israel and Azerbaijan, that whole mess.
Yeah, and she
trip.
did the whole, the...
Nightmare trip.
Yeah, and she didn't know what she was talking about because she was like promoting this product that she had never heard of. Just like we had never heard of.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was that whole trip, and it was the beginning of last summer. So almost about a year ago.
Was that summer?
Yeah, it was June.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Can you believe it? But here we are finally seeing what she was up to.
Well, I think this is the final Nightmare Era piece we're getting.
I think so. Mm-hmm. So she films this commercial for this Hostel app. I don't know why you laughing. I don't know why you laugh. I'm trying to be serious, girl.
That's what's funny.
Exactly. Like, are we really talking about Mariah promoting a hostel? Okay, great. Great. Amazing. When literally all we need is her on the cover of People magazine.
Yes.
That's it.
I know.
We don't need a Hostel app.
No.
Anyways, I will say, I literally have a friend who's backpacking through Europe, and she sent me, she's like, is Mariah promoting this Hostel app? And I was like, yeah, girl, you should use it.
Yeah.
Because trust and believe, if I'm ever backpacking through Europe, I know my Hostel app will be there. Only because of Mariah. But like...
Well, the funny thing is, because I have done the hostel circuit before. Actually, my first time in New York, I stayed in a hostel. I'm like at that age now, and I'm her audience. Yeah. I'm not going to know hostel.
I ain't trying to... I don't know you, bitch.
Yeah.
I ain't all up... But, okay, so, like, I get the funniness and the comedy that they were trying to go for in the commercial.
I get it, yes.
You know, if you guys haven't seen it, I'm sure you have, but Mariah's team books her a night in a hostel.
By accident.
Air quotes, and Mariah's like, oh, my God, like...
Pissed off.
Somebody fix this, because she's... playing the diva role, which all over the top, and
I rolled. I'm like, oh, this storyline
honey, again.
Yeah,
real. Is that the only story you got, Mariah?
Yeah. Here's the thing about why it's not good. It's because dummy Joe Schmo over there believes it. It's not funny to him.
That's the thing. People literally who don't know they believe it.
Yeah.
They think like this is really what she does. Yes, Mariah does have diva tendencies, but yeah, she's a rich bitch.
Yeah.
So it's not just Mariah. Any rich bitch is the same way Mariah is.
Well,
Mariah's not any more or less of a rich bitch.
A regular rich bitch would tell the assistant.
Regular rich bitch.
But they would just low-key in the private space go, can you book me in the Four Seasons? I want the top floor. Mm-hmm. Get the car service over here. Right. And just low-key deal with it.
Any regular rich bitch would do that.
Yes.
It's not just Mariah.
Right. So this
people think
character.
That because... But I just don't like that she like... is playing into that character.
Because it's throwing it in your face.
Mm-hmm.
Like the regular rich bitch isn't out the window going, hey, everybody, I'm booked at the Four Seasons, suck it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, and then at the end of the commercial, she's in the bar. They're playing fantasy. They got the assistants holding up the fans,
the, like,
blowing her
desk
hair,
fan,
and
yeah.
it's just like, ugh,
The dove. I was like,
okay. Don't get me wrong. It's cute. It's cute.
I could have done without it.
I could have done without it too. Like, I don't need that. It's a good, you know what though? It's a good marketing campaign though.
Yes, it got everywhere.
Absolutely.
And
I mean, my friend who is not a Mariah fan is seeing this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, come on. I mean, it's a good marketing plan.
And they definitely
They're getting their money's worth.
today, especially
100%. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mariah is trending.
They weren't expecting this to come out.
But the thing is, it's just...
And thank God it's simultaneous. It's not like after the People magazine.
It's
came out
the People
before.
magazine is where it's all at.
We're reset.
But it's just the whole thing of like we're still having to deal with those things that they did during that era.
The bad ideas.
That Mariah herself, even in People magazine, is saying she's done with that.
She wanted to erase all that.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't want to see that.
Nah.
I don't want the Dead Sea products.
No.
I don't want all of that Premier face scrub.
No.
I don't want any of that.
Yeah.
I'm over it. And I think Mariah is too. This right here, this People magazine, is what's resetting her.
Yeah.
It's like clean slate.
Even though
I'm coming fresh, I'm coming new.
Yeah, even though it's not obviously like a celebratory thing to get excited about, it's just like a breath of fresh air. Like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
I got it. I understand. I see it.
Yep. 100%.
And now we're all on the same page. Mm-hmm. And now we know what mess looks like.
Yep.
The last 2 years.
Just saying. But it's just really good to have Mariah speaking about feeling good and being in a good place.
Yeah.
You know, like, obviously, us as lambs, we've seen it because you literally can see it in her. Mm-hmm. But for her to speak out on it and for her to, like, say it in this way, that's big, girl. I mean, I could shed a tear. I really could. I'm so happy for her.
Have been emotional about it.
Yeah.
Because it's just like...
I know, but it's just
exhale.
like, yes, girl. We got you, girl.
Yeah.
I love this bitch.
Me too. Everyone does.
She's amazing. So, sorry to take up most of the fucking show with all of this People magazine bipolar talk, but that's just what it is. So, that's this week's episode.
Okay. So now I'm officially declaring this the end of the Nightmare era.
Yes, this is the clean slate right here,
Yes.
People magazine.
This is where it ends.
Done and done.
A new beginning begins.
And she's so gorgeous. I'm just looking at this cover. She's so gorgeous.
Oh, she looks amazing.
She looks amazing. I can't believe that it came out this morning. It's already on the newsstands.
Yeah. Thank God for the internet, because I walked by the newsstand, I would have had a heart attack.
I know, right? That would have been like,
In the
girl,
street.
it would. Could you imagine? That would be like going back to the 1990s and just like all of a sudden hearing a new Mariah song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, what the fuck is Mariah doing on the? Oh my God, she's bipolar in the middle of New York City streets.
Yeah.
That would have been us.
Yes, I know.
Running up to the fucking newsstands.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Thank God for the internet.
Well, because I brought 2 of the magazines so we can look at them. And then the guy was like, do you want another one? I was like, no, 2's fine.
No, two is okay. It's so crazy because when I went to Barnes and Noble and I bought 2 copies of the V magazine.
Yeah.
First of all, they only had 4 that could fit on the actual newsstand, and I bought them and I was like inspecting them to make sure they were like not creased.
The corners are not dinged.
Like nothing dinged on them. And like when I went up, the lady to buy 2 of the same magazine, looking like a crazy person, she definitely gave me like the one up, like. But then, of course, I'm like some big flaming homosexual. So she's like, oh, yeah, this queen. But yeah, when you buy 2 of the same magazine, people might think you're bipolar.
One for each personality. Yeah.
Right. Anyways, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for listening. As you all have been doing, show Mariah your love, your support.
Yeah.
She is our everything, and she is doing really well right now.
Great time to be a lamb.
Great time.
When was the last great time? Do you remember something happened and we're like, oh, great time to be a lamb? What was that? Was it New Year's Eve comeback?
Oh, probably.
Was it
Yeah,
on the
right
phone?
after all of that. Yeah, Like top
Great
of the year,
yeah,
top of the year.
Yeah, okay.
And here we are. It's April. We're still riding high.
Getting better and better.
Better and better. I'm telling you, 2018, we got the album coming.
That's going to be too much.
No, I heard.
I'm not going to be able to handle that.
Hold on. Before we go, I have heard word on the street, aka Twitter, that today, tomorrow, Thursday, in LA, Mariah's previewing some of the songs for record label execs. No. That's what I heard on the street, aka Twitter. No. That's what I heard.
Shut up.
I'm just saying. Hashtag the album.
Well, speaking of word on the street, shout out to Mariah's new team because there wasn't a single leakage of any of this.
Oh, of course not.
Unlike the last 2 years.
This was I'm telling you, the PR team is on top of it. This is great. This is exactly where we need Mariah to be.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she's having to be very vulnerable and open herself up.
Yeah.
But that's what people want.
But look at this.
They want to connect with her. They really do.
Yes. And look at this in the world of freaking Donald Trump and Russia and all this mess. This is nothing.
Right. Oh, of course.
This is
and again,
no big deal.
This is your girl next door.
Yeah.
Honey, if you don't think your neighbor's bipolar, he probably is.
Yes.
It's not way back in the day, and even Mariah says it in the thing, she didn't want the stigma that's attached to the word bipolar to be her shadow.
Yeah.
But bipolar is not what people think it is.
Because let's change the wordage. People are uncomfortable saying they're gay because when you say that, the other person automatically applies things that aren't true.
Exactly.
That they learnt in just the general culture. Similar thing. She's if you, especially back in the day, 2001, you say you're bipolar, you're just straight up crazy.
Right.
With no other language to put to that. But now you realize, okay, no, you have a mood disorder.
It's a thing. It's an ongoing thing. It doesn't mean you're crazy. It just means there's an unstable mood.
Something different.
Or like we just said with her and Allison, it affects people very differently.
Yeah.
So for her to come out, for Mariah to come out and start talking like this, open conversation, props to her.
Yes.
She's not only helping herself,
yes,
she is helping the world.
Yeah. Because she
really
knows
is.
she has a voice.
Yes. Yeah.
And she knows that the disease that she has, the dis-ease, was muting her voice and people weren't listening anymore. And that's a problem.
That's a problem. Right? 100%. We could go on and on about this. We could talk about this for hours, lambs, but we're going to wrap up this episode. I hope you guys really enjoyed it.
Yes. Send us questions.
Yes.
Because we can ask. We'll call Luis.
We'll do a follow-up. We'll do a follow-up. If you have any questions for our friend Luis Rivera, let us know. And we'll definitely be keeping you updated on everything.
Yeah.
Don't forget to support the show.
Please.
At patreon.com/The Mariah Report.
Yes.
We also have our merchandise store.
We do.
mariahrreportstore.com. Is that it? That's
yes.
it? Yes. You can go there. Oh, 30% off.
And for a couple more weeks.
Yes, for 2 more weeks.
Yes.
A week or so. I don't even know what today is.
Yes.
Go get you some merchandise, girl.
Hurry.
Yes.
Because stuff's not going to go. So stuff is leaving soon.
Yes.
Out of the store.
And it will no longer be there. So get it while it's still there because we have new stuff coming. Just use the promo code TMR30.
That's it.
And as of course, we love an iTunes review.
It helps us hear. I can't talk. I'm out of talkage.
We've been talking about Mariah on the cover of People magazine literally since our eyes opened this morning.
Yeah. iTunes reviews help us as well.
Yes, we appreciate them. And thank you guys for listening so much. We will be back soon.
Thank you. Bye.